Hello everybody, and welcome back to Certified Collectibles. This is another episode of First Appearance of the Week. This is Wednesday, July 19th, 2023. We'll be giving you all the first appearance in your comic shops today. Now this week we have a pretty good lineup for you guys. I think we have 7 first appearances, 1 honorable mention, so 8 titles on all to go through. Definitely some books in there you guys should pick up for your collection. So let's go ahead and get started for the first appearances of the week, week ending July 21st, 2023. First up from DC Comics, Hawk Girl number 1. This features the first appearance of Volvecula. Now, the Hawkman, Hawkgirl franchise, this is a big franchise for DC Comics. They have a huge fan base, huge collector base, and this is the premiere issue of this new Hawkgirl series. Now, like we always say with DC Comics, it really depends on what they do with these new characters they're introducing into the comics as to how important these books are going to be in the future. But like I said, the Hawkman, Hawkgirl franchise, these characters do have a big fan base and a big following, and the fact that this is the premiere issue of this new title series and they are introducing a new character, this one here does have a lot going for it. But once again, it will be a little bit more speculative, just given DC's track record with introducing new characters. So in our opinion, this one here is a great spec bet. Pick this one up if you can. If you can't, though, put in your B-list, but definitely keep an eye on this one. Next up from DC Comics, Night Terror's Punchline number 1. This features the first appearance of a Nightmare Realm version of Batgirl. Now, this Night Terror's title series from DC Comics, they have been introducing a lot of characters into this particular title series. Now, this is definitely a subset series for DC Comics, and it is a limited series. So we really don't know where any of these characters are going to go. If they actually introduce these characters across other storylines or the story arcs into some of the more mainstay title series, then these characters will definitely be more important going forward. But if these characters just stay within this particular title series, they go nowhere, the title series ends, the characters are forgotten, they really won't be that big a deal in the future. So this one here will definitely be a little bit more speculative if you choose to pick it up. You're definitely expecting on DC doing something with these characters, or these characters becoming popular and becoming fan favorites. So this is a spec bet if you choose to pick it up. Maybe we're doing something for cover price. Grab it if you can. If you can't, though, put it in your B-list and take a look at it later on. Next up from DC Comics, Night Terror Superman number 1. This features the first appearance of the Super Reaper. This also introduces the Nightly Planet. Now, like we just mentioned with this Night Terror's title series, it really depends on what DC does with this title series, does with these characters they're introducing. If these characters do become fan favorites, they move these characters into other storylines, other story arcs, other title series, bring these characters onto the small screen or big screen. These characters then will definitely be a little bit more important in the future. But like we just said a moment ago, if they just stay within the series and they just die in the series, then they probably won't be that big a deal. This here does feature the first appearance of Super Reaper and the first appearance of this Nightly Planet, which is a take, of course, on the Daily Planet. This one here is definitely a spec bet if you choose to pick it up. Like we said, though, maybe we're doing something for cover price. You don't want to chase them down later for a lot more money if they do become big. So once again, this is a spec bet. Grab it if you can. If you can't, though, put it on your B-list and take a look at it later on. Next up from Marvel Comics, Blade number 1. This features the first appearance of Adana, a deadly threat unintentionally released by Blade. This also features the first appearance of Rotha. Now this is one we definitely think you should pick up and add to your collection. Blade has a huge fan base, huge collector base, huge following for this character, and Marvel Disney is still churning out a ton of media, whether for the small screen or big screen, and they do have plans for Blade. Being that this here is the premiere issue of this title series, and they are introducing 2 new characters, this is one we think has a lot going for it. This is one you definitely want to add to your collection. Next up from Marvel Comics, Deadpool Batter Blood number 2. This features the first appearance of Arcata. It also features the first full appearance of Shatterstorm. There was a cameo in issue number 1. Now, I don't think we have to tell you guys how popular Deadpool is. Huge fan base, huge collector base for this character, and people are just super hyped about Deadpool right now with all the stills being released from Deadpool 3, the feature film coming out in the future. This one here is one we definitely think you should pick up and add to your collection. In this issue, they are introducing 2 new characters into the Deadpool universe, and like we said, this franchise is going very strong right now, so anytime they introduce new characters, these are books you want to own in your collection. Go ahead and grab this one. Next up from Marvel Comics, Extreme Venomverse number 5. This features the first appearance of Kingpin, a kaiju Venom. Also the first appearance of Major Link Venom, and the first appearance of Mobile Walker Venom. Now, anytime they introduce a new character into the Spider-Man universe or Venom universe, these are books you want to own in your collection. Spider-Man, Venom, this whole universe, this whole franchise, hugely popular, huge fan base, huge collector base, huge following for the Venom character himself, and they are introducing 3 new Venom characters into this particular title. This is one you definitely want to pick up and add to your collection. And finally from Marvel Comics, Moon Knight City of the Dead number 1. This features the first appearance of the Jackal Knight. Also in this issue, Layla El Fowley becomes the 3rd Scarlet Scarab. Now, the Moon Knight franchise gained a lot of popularity with the streaming series on Disney+. A lot more people became familiar with the series, and there's a lot more eyes on the characters. And since they are introducing new characters into this particular issue, and this is the premiere issue of this new subset series for Moon Knight, this is not the mainstay title series, but this is a subset series. But given that Disney still has plans for the Moon Knight streaming series and perhaps a Moon Knight feature film in the future, you really don't know where these characters may end up. If they do hit the small screen or big screen, people are going to race back into the comics and trying to find the first appearance. You definitely want to get these at the cover price. You don't want to pay a lot more later on. So this one here is going to be a little bit more speculative than some of the other titles we mentioned. But like we always say with Marvel Comics, it's always worth picking up the first appearance of new characters in these titles. Grab this one here if you can. If you can't, though, put it in your B-list, but keep an eye on it. And now for our honorable mention. From DC Comics, Tales of the Titans #1. This features the origin of Starfire. Now, Starfire does have a following and a fan base. This is more of a niche character, though. This is the origin of Starfire. This does not feature any first appearances. So this one here will be a little more speculative if you choose to pick it up. But like we always say, though, it may be worth doing so at the cover price. You don't want to chase them down later on for a lot more money if these comics do become popular or do become big. So this will be a spec bet if you choose to pick it up. Grab it if you can. If you can't, though, put it in your B-list, but keep an eye on it. So there you have the 8 titles we have for you guys this week. Definitely some books in there you guys should pick up for your collection. So please feel free to drop some comments in the comment section below. Thumbs up if you like this video. And as always, please remember to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thank you for joining us here at Certified Collectibles, and we'll see you again next time.